Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. And so here we go. Week one of the NFL season is almost here. And so you guys already know what that means. It's time to get these projections. Again, these are my projections here. And so certainly, that means I'm gonna pick some teams that I think may be an upset, so not every game that I pick is who I think has the best chance to win. But ultimately, given the NFL season, sometimes it's a guessing game. So trying to guess here and there which teams are going to win, a lot of fun here, but let's go ahead and get things started here. So we'll start off with Indianapolis versus Houston. We'll go in the order that they have it listed here. So on the road here at Houston. So in Houston's defense here, you got Davis Mills entering his second year. A lot of question marks around him. He's got to come out here and really see if he can pick up where he left off at, because there were actually spurts last year in which he played tremendous. I mean, in terms of all the rookie quarterbacks, he definitely played top two last season in terms of passing production. And so we'll see if that continues here. But obviously for the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, can Houston contain him? And Matt Ryan, his first year here with the Colts. And so throughout the preseason, did you see enough of Matt Ryan to make you feel comfortable? I got Indianapolis winning this one, but I think it's going to be closer than most people think. I'm going to go Indy wins this one. Final score being Indianapolis 23, and I'm going to go Houston 17. So 23-17. Again, it's down there in Houston, but I think Indianapolis will still win. But maybe the offense doesn't come out firing because Matt Ryan has to get a little bit warmed up here. All right, so next on the list, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals. So whenever these two teams play, it's always an extremely physical game. And so Pittsburgh will be led by Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, just how healthy he is. He's a little banged up here. And honestly, their offense looked amazing last year, minus the offensive line. But I like what Cincinnati has done, throughout the draft, helping out the defense side of the ball as well. That being said, though, I feel like, now with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have Brian Flores coming in as the defensive coordinator. And I just like the build of this team. You're hearing good things about George Pickens for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This will be a physical and intense game here, but I'm going to go that Pittsburgh wins this game on the road. Final score being, I'm going to go Pittsburgh 23, Bengals 20. And so Pittsburgh pulls off what I consider to be the upset here against the Cincinnati Bengals. Next, you've got the Ravens versus the Jets in this one. Whether it's Zach Wilson, whether it's Joe Flacco, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be Zach Wilson. But either way, I don't think that's going to change the result in this one. I've got the Baltimore Ravens here winning on the road. Lamar Jackson and company, my favorites entering the season to win that division of the AFC North. I've got the Baltimore Ravens winning, final score being 24-10. 24-10 over the Jets. All right, so Patriots versus Dolphins, a game that many people, got Miami favorite as, and I understand that. And so Miami's been winning a lot at home, although typically the first game lately has been down in New England. Second game is usually down in Miami. But ultimately, Miami enters this one into the favorite. Can Tua connect with guys like Tyreek? And you look at the receivers they have versus the Patriots secondary, which right now is unproven at this point. And there's a lot of question marks. Bill called in the plays, and I certainly get that Miami would be favorites here, but do we bet against Bill Belichick? Mac Jones entering into year two here. You really look at this offense, and I know that, it's not something that stands out on paper, but from a chemistry perspective, they really did not lose any key pieces on offense there. What was the biggest loss on offense? You have to go look at Shaq Mason, which that was a pretty big piece there on the offensive line. However, Patriots have done a great job of bringing next man up when it comes to the offensive line. And so I feel like they'll come out running the ball. Harris will run it some. I think Stevenson will have a big game there. Mac Jones, it's really going to come down to, I think, the fourth quarter. And so for this one, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Patriots find a way to upset the Dolphins 24-21 on the road. 24-21 over the Dolphins. All right, so Raiders and Chargers. These two teams, pretty much, in my opinion, just about even on paper. I view them as I view both of them as playoff contending teams. There, I like what Josh McDaniels has done with the Raiders, and I like the energy the Raiders play with in the preseason. I know it's just preseason, but you look at the additions that they made, and wow. But you can say the same thing about the Chargers as well. So both of these teams extremely talented here, and so I'm expecting that this game, week one, I'm gonna give this one to the Raiders. I got a gut feeling that tells me the Raiders are gonna win this one. Final score being 24-23. Raiders win it, and Derek Carr does a game-winning drive towards the end. And so Raiders win that one. All right, so the first game of the NFL season, Buffalo versus the Rams. And so everybody did Buffalo, Super Bowl favorites and stuff like that. And so I think the Bills will win about 14 or 15 games potentially this year. But the Rams being at home, anytime you see the Super Bowl team defending their championship at home, they are tough to beat. And they're going to be amped up for this game here. And so I'm going to go with the Rams here at home, defending their Super Bowl. Everybody's going to be ramped up in the stadium. They want to go out there and win that first game. And I'm going to go Rams over the Bills. I remember last season, Buffalo came out to a slow start. Pittsburgh beat them in that opening game. So it might take a little while before they get to clicking like they were last year. Now, Jaguars versus Washington. Last time Carson Wentz saw this defense, it put him in a frenzy. And quite frankly, they've only went ahead and gotten better. Obviously having the first overall pick, Javon Walker out there to help out that defense as well. And then Trevor Lawrence, up under Doug Peterson, does he take that next step there? Ultimately, I'm going to go ahead and say the Jags win this game 20-10. So 20-10 is my pick. Jags over Washington. I can see Washington getting 10 or 13 points. And so the revenge game, the Browns versus the Carolina Panthers. And we all know that Baker Mayfield is a prideful person. That is for sure. Love him or hate him, he is who he is. But he's got Christian McCaffrey as well in that backfield. And I know that you're thinking, when he was with the Browns, he had, obviously Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and they're still going to be with the Browns here. But however, they're going to be starting Jacoby Brissett. And I'm not in love with that right there for Cleveland. And so I'm going to go ahead and go Carolina wins this one. Final score being I'm going to go Carolina. I'm going to go Carolina 27, Cleveland 17. So 27-17, Carolina wins over the Browns. Next up, we got the Chiefs on the road against the Cardinals. And so I feel like the Chiefs obviously favorites entering that game. And clearly no Tyreek Hill. There should be no problem. Arizona, you've got no Hopkins as well. But I think about this game here for the Cardinals. And so I feel like this is an opportunity. Cardinals got off to a great start last year. Kansas City got off to a bit of a slow start last year. I still believe Kansas City Chiefs are going to be a great team here, but I could see the Cardinals pulling off an upset. So I'm going to go ahead and say Cardinals win this one 27-23. And so I still feel Kansas City's a tremendous team. They'll still be a playoff team here, but I can see the upset happening here at the hands of the Cardinals. All right, so Giants versus Titans here, and so having Derrick Henry's back, that'll be great. Now, Ryan Tannehill, I feel like it's going to be an up and down season for him, mostly down. Obviously, you lose a guy like AJ Brown, and so hopefully, having Robert Woods and Trey Burks, that works out for them in terms of the passing game there. But that being said, the Giants still have Daniel Jones. Don't know how much I trust Saquon Barkley. It is in Tennessee to open up the season. They're going to be ramped up, so I'm going to go ahead and have the Titans win this one by the final score of I'm gonna go Tennessee 26 and I'm gonna go Giants 17, 26-17 over the Giants. All right, so next you've got the Broncos versus the Seahawks. I dread this matchup. I don't like this matchup at all. Geno Smith for the Seahawks. It's gonna be a long night, prime time too. I'm gonna go ahead and be nice and generous on this one though. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Broncos win this one. Final score being Denver. I think Denver scores 34 points, and I think the Seahawks score. I'm gonna give them 13. So 34-13, Broncos over the Seahawks. All right, and the next matchup here are two young quarterbacks, entering their second year here. Obviously, you got Trey Lance for the 49ers, and you've got Justin Fields for the Bears. And so I know the 49ers are favorites for that game, as they should be. However, Justin Fields, I just feel like, if he takes that next step this season, as I think that he can, the offensive line still ain't worth much. 49ers got off to a slow start last year. Trey Lance, he's a bit of an unknown. So he can either come out and light it up, or he can come out and perhaps hold them back a bit. And I do feel that Chicago's defense is a little bit more improved. And being at home here, I'm going to just go ahead and give the Bears a 3-point victory, 20-17 in this one. David Montgomery, he'll reach the end zone at least once in this one. All right, so next up is the Eagles versus the Lions. And the Lions, they remember how the Eagles did them last year. They pretty much torched them. And so I think this year will be pretty much almost the same. I'm going to go ahead and say the Eagles win this one, final score being I'm going to go 34. I'm going to go 34-17. 34-17 Eagles over the Detroit Lions. So 34-17. All right, next up, famous Jameis and the Saints versus the Falcons. And so Marcus Mariota, his debut And so on the road down here in Atlanta, the more I think about it, you cannot, overstate that it is on the road here in Atlanta. Obviously, these two teams play twice a year. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the Saints win this one by the final score of 30-20. 30-20 over the Falcons. All right, so now we've got the Packers on the road here at the Vikings, and so obviously we know Green Bay, no Devontae Adams here, but I still feel like this is an extremely talented team that'll win many games. However, in the opener, though, I don't know if they get off to extremely a fast start with some of those rookie receivers that they have, and the Vikings' new head coach that probably will be able to go ahead and maximize their potential in that offense, especially. And so I'm gonna go ahead and give the Vikings the nod here. The Vikings win 34-31 in this one. And so I'm gonna go ahead and give the Vikings the upset here. All right, and the Buccaneers versus the Cowboys, in which many people give the Buccaneers the favorites. Obviously, Tom Brady coming back, but no Rob Gronkowski here. Chris Godwin, who knows what's going on with that situation. And as for the Dallas Cowboys, they have offensive line issues. You got to point that out. Offensive line issues. Zeke, this could be it. This might very well be the last year that we see him in the Cowboys jersey. Most likely it will be. But I mean, Cowboys got something to prove. Last year it was close. It just wasn't enough. This year at home, I'm gonna go ahead and give Dallas the upset. Final score being 26-24 over the Buccaneers. And so there you guys have it. And so obviously there's a bunch of games on here in which I can certainly understand. If you just fast forwarded to the video, no, I understand that Cincinnati's a great team. I understand that Miami's the favorite. I understand the Chargers can win that one. I understand Buffalo could very well win that. I do, believe me. The Chiefs, I know that they, on paper, the better team. And San Francisco, I know that they should beat the Bears. I get it. I get it. Packers should be favored here, and the Buccaneers certainly should be favored over the Cowboys. But it's the NFL. Anything can happen. And so, you got to think about the story within the story. And so, not everybody goes out there and wins who's projected to win. That's why we love this game so much, guys. So, this is just my projections, but I do want to hear from you guys. If you want to go ahead and put in the comment section, who do you guys like in certain matchups? Let me know in the comment section, guys, for sure. And hey, let's see how these picks work out. Let's see how these picks work out. It's going to be a fun week one, and I'm looking forward to it. I will be live streaming the first game, Bills versus the Rams. I'll be doing the play-by-play for that. So if you have some time, do come out and join me for that. But with that being said, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time.